Hi, this is Harriet Westmore from More to Discover podcast. This is the podcast where we discover ourselves through life journeys. This is the podcast where we share those type of stories. So welcome. I know it's been a while, but I'm working on some things in the background. So don't fret. It's just that I'm trying to get things done, and I want to present a good podcast for you. But today we have a very good podcast today. I think this is something that we need to know of. Some of us may be transitioning in finding employment. Some of us want to change our careers. Some of us just want to start our business, and we need to touch up our makeup or how we look on paper. And with us today is Miss Janice Jones. She is the creator of Significant Beginnings. She does resumes. She gives us tips and tricks of how to do interviews and how to look presentable and have a professional resume. So I'm just so excited because we have so much to talk about. So Thank you, Miss Janice. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
Awesome. So just kind of give me a backstory of who you are and let us know, how did you start Significant Beginnings?
Well, I am a mom, a wife, and I just enjoy life. So I actually I do work full time as well. But how Significant Beginnings started is it's pretty a unique story, I believe. But my family and I decided to move down to Florida from Ohio.
Okay.
In 2016, what was that, June 2016 or something? And so it was a big leap for us, of course, And being down there, I was homesick, of course. The culture is different from the Midwest. I was just trying to find my way and fit in, I guess, in so many words. And I started out working at a place called I'll keep the name out of it, but I was doing credentialing there.
Okay.
And so then I stayed there for, I want to say, less than 8 months, and then I found another position. And I was driving home. This second job that I had, I couldn't stand it. I was really miserable, and I was driving home. I was working nights too, on top of that. And I was driving home. I was like, Lord, is there something else that I can do? What's
right?
Like, I got a talent to do something. And I heard like doing resumes and stuff, because my family and friends would always ask me to do their resumes or their cover letters or whatever. And I said, okay, that's cool, but what am I name it, Lord? And I heard Significant Beginnings. And I'm like, that's a different name. And I'm like, why? Because I'm very inquisitive, of course. So the reason why is because I was starting anew. Left my comfort zone, and then I ended up going somewhere that I didn't have much family, of course.
Right.
But my husband and my children. And he said it was significant. I'm like, really? And then it'd just be something new for somebody else that's starting something new. It'll be a significant way of them starting a new job or whatever they have going on. But he also spoke it was a ministry as well. So that way I can pour into other people. But I was way before, before my time. And I just kind of grew into what you see now. I go to about all my ideas, the Lord Jesus Christ. I go to him for all of my ideas, everything.
Amen. So what you have just described as far as your journey is what many of us are on that path now, and we're like saying, Lord, I know this is not your purpose for me to be in this particular position because I'm just miserable. And so you tapped in yourself and you just heard, God speak to you about resumes and something that what you did, you took within yourself what people see you doing, and you took it and manifested, and God just put that in you and manifested. So as far as talk about your resume, the business itself? How did you get started and how did it start flourishing?
Oh Lord, it didn't go right away. It sat for 2 years.
Mm,
I had the name, I had the ideas, I had everything, but I didn't have the money.
okay.
And I ended up. This is my third job at this point, and I was working at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working as I think it's a CME, it's continuing medical education.
Mm-hmm.
And I was putting on events and stuff like that, and for the doctors and the residents and so forth. And I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to work from home. I don't want to be here. I'm like, because I was traveling like an hour and 15 minutes
Uh,
from work.
yeah.
And I was just like, and I had to get up 2 hours before I even had to be at work and
Mm,
drop the kids off if need be. And if God forbid something happened with my boys, and it's just like I'm
mm-hmm.
far away. And I'm like, Lord, I don't want to, like, I don't know. I was just being all over the place and picky.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
he began to see a lot happen for me at that point. It was the last year that I was there. I was actually at that hospital for 2 years.
Okay.
And I was putting on a BLS class, and one of the providers got upset because she registered late. She
Mm-hmm.
actually tried to get put in the same day. And she got in my face. She was yelling and so forth. And I was sitting there like, and the people who know me back then know I didn't
Mm-hmm.
tolerate certain things. I would
Mm-hmm.
pop off just as much as anybody else would. You're in my
Mm-hmm.
face, and I
Mm-hmm.
just was like, I didn't do anything. I just sat there and I was like, is this what we're doing? And I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm done. So I began to look for something else, but I was looking more so for remote work because that was beginning to be the trend. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'd rather be around my family. I want to put more all into my business. And
Mm-hmm.
so a friend of mine, actually she was a coworker too, but it was a friend of mine, and she said, hey, could you write me a resume? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I did it for free. I didn't charge her for it. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was like, whatever you did to this resume, I'm getting phone calls like crazy.
Wow.
And I was just like, I just basically gave you what you gave me. So I just put it in better words, I guess.
Right.
And she said, I'm gonna try not to cry. But she said, do you have a website? And I said, yeah, I do. And I had started this little website or whatever on Wix.com because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And I had picked out my brand colors and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, why didn't you start it? And I was like, I didn't have the money to do an LLC, and I didn't want nobody to take my name.
You're right. Right.
And so she said, well, I'm going to sew into you because I see your potential. See how you're really talented at what you do. And so she did. She sold into me, and then and she told me to go get a PO box. So that same day, I went and got a PO box. I think I waited 2 days. I had my LLC. A week later, I was able to leave that job.
Mm.
I went into another job, and that job was only for 3 weeks, which was Toyota. I did not
Mm-hmm.
want to work there, but I was like, Lord, whatever you doing, because he was speaking to me to get out of the job. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, well, where am I supposed to go? I ended up getting the job at Toyota, and I was literally there for 3 weeks. And I had already been speaking to somebody in terms of remote work. And so the process was long. It took about two months because I had already been talking to them before I quit
Okay.
the job at the hospital,
Okay.
and had my interviews all the way up until I think the week before Thanksgiving. And they called and said, you got the job. So I was able to quit Toyota and then start my remote job in December.
Wow. Wow.
And
Look.
yeah, and so then I was like, okay, now I have time to do my business. Like I could do it
Mm-hmm.
on do it on the side, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I don't really down anybody for if you work in a full-time job, whatever it is, and you have a business, do that too. Just as much as you put the effort into that job, put the effort into that business.
Right.
I was just like, okay, now I got an LLC, I got a new job, and 2020 went. And that's when COVID hit. But you had a lot of people who were looking for jobs.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I just kept building services on top of it. And people was like, hey, do you do this? Yeah, I do. Let me add it to the service. I said, hey, I also, if you need help finding a job, I send out job postings. That's complimentary. Are putting out resources and tips and all types of stuff.
And let's put a pin right there, because I think that's what stands out. Your business stands out because you do complimentary job postings and job listings. You send your clients job listings. I am, by the way, people, I am her client. And I love what she does. She goes beyond, you can tell her passion is in her work, because she goes beyond what is required, as far as oh, you just ask for a resume, but you're getting more than just a resume. She's actually taken the time to know what your niche is and what you want, as far as what type of job you're looking for. And she actually searches for those particular job postings and sends it to you complimentary. That's part of her package. So you can't help but to flourish from that, because for someone like that, because not everybody does that, which I thought was very ingenious. So let's talk about you being the resume expert. What do you think employers are looking for? What do you see the average people are who are getting the jobs based off of your professional resume?
Mm-hmm.
What are really employers are looking at?
I mean, they want you. They don't want to lie, and of course, they want to see results too. They want to see how your skills, how your accomplishments can result in maybe pivoting that business into something more, your ideas, whatever that may be, and you putting it on paper and being able to say, hey, this is what I do. This is how I can contribute to your company. And it sticks out. Averagely, I think they only look at it for maybe 3 seconds or so, or it goes through the ATS, which is the oh man, it just left me. But the ATS system, where they actually just run your resume through it and they look for keywords. The key to getting a callback is literally matching your resume to that job description. That's it.
Wow.
Because they have the keywords in there. And all you're doing is like, okay, you're reading that job description. This is what, and aligning it with that job description, you're guaranteed to get a call. Guaranteed. And your skills and your what I think a lot of it too that I see is we're not using our words. So, or we'll use it repetitively, and they want to see something stick out. And sometimes you don't want to get too wordy, but you want to be able to just put it out there and say, hey, this is what I do. This is my skills. This is my accomplishment. And these are my results. This is what I've done in my current role. That's what they want to see.
Wow. What do you say to those who haven't, like, let's say someone who's been out of the working, profession for years and just want to get back into it? How do you bridge that gap, or who hasn't worked or been laid off or whatever and want to get back into? How do you bridge that gap of
That's a good question. It depends, and I think that's why I probe for certain things. Like I ask certain questions, like, "Hey, did you go to school while you were not working? Did you do a sabbatical? Like you just needed some time. You need a mental break." There are certain questions I ask because I remember, especially on my resume, they'll say, "Oh, there's like a 6-month gap on my resume." Right. Yeah, I was in school though. I was getting my master's degree, so that's why there's a gap there. I couldn't physically manage, and I'll say something like, well, I decided to finish my master's degree, and I was looking for the ideal position, so I took a little break. As long as you explaining what you did during that time and you wasn't sitting on your butt, then they'll take it. They'll usually
that's a good question. Good answer. Good answer. I mean, you might not think about it. Well, you were in school or whatever, but you don't, but that's an excellent answer, because that shows that you were still, fine tuning your education. You were getting the skills and the knowledge that you need for that, whatever position that you're going for.
Right. Right.
So, and you dedicate that, time, that 6 months or a year or whatever, to doing that. So,
Yeah.
that's good. And I think companies, employers, they respect that, and that's what they're looking for.
Because ideally, a master's degree, it's a lot of work.
Mhm.
It's a lot of class work. It's a lot of things. And with me being a wife and a mother and raising a family and in a master's program, I mean, that made sense.
Right.
kind of take and then we were in the process of moving too, because I was in my master's program while we were living in Ohio, and then started in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up taking a little break as we moved to Florida so that I can get, my bearings together. I wanted to keep my grades up, and really pay attention to what I was doing. I had a great, my director at the time, because I used to work for UH, I was actually wanting to get into a higher position.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told her, I was like, hey, I started my master's program. And she's like, okay. And she said she wasn't promoting me. And I was so upset. I was so upset. But here's why she didn't. She's like, I need you to focus on the master's program. You can't do both. And at first I didn't get that. But after I finished it, I really respect what she did. So
Gotcha.
I ended up in that role anyway. Time progressed. I ended up in that role anyway. Maybe not at UH, but I did end up in that role.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And you, again, that's something to be respected, what she said and how she, what she said. So, what type of packages do you offer for clients who are seeking to have their resume fine-tuned or redone or whatever?
Oh, wow. So I recently released some new services, because I understand that a lot of people, okay, I'm tired of doing this. I want to do something else. So I do offer career transition resumes, all kinds of resumes. Like if you're going from military to civilian, if you're, I don't put it out there like that, but I do offer it. Wow. Like I do a cover letter and resume package. There is career coaching. So I help you to prep for your interview. LinkedIn optimization. Like there's so many. I just added oh man, letters of recommendation.
Oh.
How to write that. I also help students. So academic writing, and like there's so much that significant beginnings. I think that's why the core of it is resume writing, but I think it's listed as professional writing service because there's an array of services that is provided.
Oh, wow.
Recently did business, so I'm doing business writing too.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Awesome. So, and just, a sidebar for people to know, Janice, she did my personal resume. I wanted to look for a particular position, and I also have, besides podcasting, I do other businesses. So she created a business resume for me as well. I mean, and like you said, there's a whole different, resume is just not, it's not that cookie cutter
Right.
Wording anymore, like it was back in the day. So, I mean, and what the services that she offered, and she goes beyond what is, the package that whatever package that you select. I mean, she puts her heart, and you can tell she goes beyond of what, you would expect from anybody else. So I highly recommending her. You don't have to, I mean, she does it virtually. We are in two separate states. She was in my home state, but now she's in Florida. So
Georgia. Yes.
So she's now in more of a warmer state than where she was in Ohio, and I understand. I get, but you're still a Buckeye. I don't care what you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, how can people reach out to you, or what? Before we do that,
Mhm.
is there can you give us a tip of any tips or advice that you would like to share to the audience of in looking for a job, or looking, or when they want to talk to you, what
Mhm.
are the things that you're looking for to to help them?
So, one tip is that some of these websites you have to be so, careful about, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Sometimes use it, Indeed, I'm sorry, LinkedIn, but not too often.
Mhm.
But they have like these new sites now for remote work. I actually wrote a remote work ebook, and it's free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it does have a list of a few websites that you could use to look for remote work. And a tip is based, I want to say that you want to just, the biggest thing for me is if you want to do your resume for yourself, by all means, I'm going to go a little deeper, but you make sure that you're using the job description. And not only that, I'm going to have to come for Chat GPT. It's not going to make it personalized. And that's not for me a money grab for me to say, oh, come to me or
Mm-hmm.
anybody else to write your resume.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be personal. It's a straightforward kind of thing. And so what we do is to make sure all of our consultations are free. Doesn't matter what you're getting, free. I want you, we sit and have a conversation, and I learn who you are, and once I learn who you are as a person, I make sure that it's replicated on paper. So that's my tip. Make sure that if you are going to write it for yourself, that you're mindful that you're using a job description, as well as making sure that it's personalized and it's customized and tailored for that job.
I'm glad you mentioned about AI and chat TPT or whatever, because that was my next, that was one of the things I wanted to, what's your thoughts on that?
Mhm.
And you just, pretty much clarify. I mean, like you said, it's straightforward. You can tell that it's, automated, generated, and all that. It
Mhm.
doesn't have that personal, um, that
Touch.
touch to it. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And,
So,
and some I think they have certain systems. I could be wrong, but they may be able to tell that you're doing that.
mm, oh, we have to be careful about that. See?
But they're catching, just like for academic papers too.
Oh, yeah.
They're catching the students using, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if people come for me, they come for me, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Did not, I tested it out myself. I
Mm-hmm.
get callbacks when I wrote my own, right?
Mm.
When I used it for like certain things, to put like Chat GPT, and I use it
Mm-hmm.
for certain things on my resume, no calls.
Isn't that
I
interesting?
didn't. Yeah, I didn't get
Interesting.
any calls. So
Wow. See,
maybe I did something wrong. I don't know, but
well, no, I think you're just proving the point that not everything can be computer generated. Sometimes you do need that human, personal touch in things, in communication.
right.
We can't just do away with human communication. We still need that. That's a
Yeah.
piece of interacting and connecting with people. You can't really connect with someone through a machine, something that's just, a robotic. You
Yeah.
just can't. So you just proved the point.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I love talking to people and getting to know different people, their personalities. I mean,
mm-hmm.
some of my clients, we became prayer partners. We pray together.
Mm,
Like, I mean, however the relationship develops, but I don't feel like, I feel like we should have a communication, and
absolutely.
always have a communication, because that's how we learn from each other too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Miss Janice, what is your website?
So it's SIGNIF beginnings.net. I minimized it because it was so super long. So I'm
Okay.
just kind of significant beginnings, but it's actually significant, but
Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes.
Okay, so those who are watching us by video, this is her website. go, please support her. You need, I mean, just asking a question. I'm sure she has her email on her website, so you can actually reach out on the website to contact her, and just a free consultation could do wonders. I mean, you might just be able to just have a resume that she can just, tweak just a little bit and get the results that you're looking for. So, and all the things that she's offering, I really highly recommend Janice. I mean, she's just a warm person. We connected on the internet, found her on Facebook, and that I recommend her. That's all I can say. I could be a testimonial on her website. I could be because her she does phenomenal work.
Thank you.
So, last closing question: what are you seeing for the future for Significant Beginnings?
International.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to help people all over the world. Like, I'm really getting into helping people like newly business owners or entrepreneurs, because people help me, and I was like, put that out there. I was like, hey, I want to be able to help. I have coaching and mentor services for, new business owners and stuff like that, just to really push you. I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to hold your hand in it, and really help you get to where you want to be. And for years I've been wanting to do this, and I've finally been released to do it. So I really see that really taking and pivoting off. I already got 2 clients so far. So.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I mean, awesome. And then like collabing with my husband too. He does graphic design, and
really,
yeah, he did my logo. I didn't know what I wanted. And I was like, I just want like a pen and my brand colors. And I mean, he just got it. And just collabing with him and being able to bring we've been doing business since we moved to Florida. And so I just thank God that I'm finally able to I'm really excited about helping people, grow their business as well. But I definitely see international, definitely.
And it's coming. So thank you so much, Janice, for allowing taking the time out of your busy schedule, because you got so much, and God is just pouring and blessing you and your husband on greater things. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and your encouragement and your testimony of your business, and I look for great things. I really do.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you guys, I will talk with you soon. And you guys, please be safe and be blessed. Keep God first. You are in the world, but not of it. So stay focused. All right, you guys, take care.